man. I come here from a mystical land. My name's White Lavender Jones. Wherever I go, I'm never alone. Always surrounded by my hoes, and wherever I go, I make it my home. My rhymes are always so fresh. I just ignore all the rest. And yes, I know that I'm blessed, because I'm next, and I'm the best.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hello, everybody. How are we doing tonight? I'm your host, August Aguilar, Strange Films Live, and I am joined by my very, very special guest, Bruce Tharp. I hope I said that last name right. I meant to ask you earlier. AKA White Lavender Jones is in the house. Hello, Bruce. How are you doing tonight, my friend?
August, it's a pleasure to be here. It's an honor to be invited on your podcast, and I'm ready to roll, brother.
Awesome, man. We are so happy to have you. Thank you so much for taking the time to come out and hang out with us tonight. And everybody, I apologize in advance if my voice sounds a little raspy or if I'm a little sniffly or anything. I'm getting over a cold. Little Augie was sick this week, and I caught the bug too, but we're on the way of recovery. Feeling pretty good. Just giving you a heads up. But anyways, Bruce, thanks again for your time tonight. We got a lot to talk about, man. You are a mixed bag of tricks and fun entertainment, obviously some music now, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and me and you are going to work together here soon that we'll touch on later on in the show as well. So Bruce, why don't we kick it off, man? Give us your origin story, just who you are, how you get started in the entertainment business, or for anybody who is watching or listening later on who doesn't know you, give them your introduction there.
So I've got a lot of different things that I've done. I think, I know we're not going to talk a whole lot about it today, but I am an attorney, number one. I've been an attorney for 33 plus years, so I've done a lot of things. Licensed in Texas. I'm licensed in Colorado. I work both states, and I'm also admitted to practice in Washington, D.C. I started out here in Texas as a prosecutor. I've done cases from DWI to capital murder, and into criminal defense. I've been doing criminal defense for many years, both federal and state complex cases. But even though I got a lot of other stuff going on, I've got my rap career now. I've got this independent film project that I'm excited about in September. I'm going to be making my debut in Nashville, October the 1st. I'm going to be doing my debut single live at the Texas Troubadour Theater, October 1st in Nashville. I still got a fully operational law firm that I run on a daily basis. And lately I've been doing a lot of federal civil rights litigation. And we have, really quickly to explain, we've got some cases that we filed against the Republic of Iran for terrorist activity in Afghanistan and Iraq. And if you notice, they killed one of the main terrorists just a few days ago, the CIA did, with a drone. Well, this individual is involved in a lot of our pleadings and our proof and whatnot. And on our very first case, we represented an individual that was blown up by an IED that we were able to connect to terrorists that were supported, Al-Qaeda terrorists that were supported by Iran. Anyway, the court awarded us a damages judgment of $45 million.
Holy moly.
Came through about 2 weeks ago. We've got about 6 identical cases pending, and we're talking to about 5 other people. So if anybody out there has been injured in Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan between the years of like 2004, 2008, we might be able to help you. Wow. So got a law background, number one.
Okay. Hey, that's important though. Thanks for sharing that. That's very, very important.
But I've got a background in magic. I've always done magic. I've loved magic ever since I was a kid. I started practicing magic when I was little. I would say maybe 9 or 10 years old, I started practicing magic. And I've always been a performer. So I started doing neighborhood magic shows. Things like that. I've got a background in professional wrestling as well. You know, I was born in the wrestling business. My father was a ring announcer in Florida in the 60s. So some of my earliest memories are going to wrestling with my father. Later, as an attorney, I acquired one of the largest, most prestigious wrestling organizations in the world. And I was president of that organization from 2012 to about 2017. So I
Wow.
learned a lot of brand development at that time, went to Japan 18 times, developing that brand, you know, and ended up breaking my nose over there. I got involved in the action too a little bit, ended up
Yeah.
breaking my nose.
Oh,
Valentine 2015, but then ended up selling that company to a very well-known individual for a, you know, very nice sum of money. And then I'm doing rapping now. I'll have to explain how that all started, but
yeah.
created the White Lavender Jones character, and that's been really fun. Recorded my first song, produced a music video to go along with it. I've already recorded my second song, haven't finished the music video yet, but within about 2 weeks of releasing my first video, I happened to meet you, Mr.
Yes, you
August Todd. And, you know, I became cast in this independent film, you know, He Comes to Kill, you
Yes,
know,
sir.
and what exciting title, you know, concept for this film. And, you know, it looks really scary slasher movie. I'm not going to give anything away. Don't worry, but it'll be really exciting. And I'm actually super excited to be involved in the project. So
Well, thank
it's
you.
kind of all come together. So
Yeah. Well, so you explained that perfectly, man. Sim Mascara Studios here says, he says you are a jack of all trades, and you are, man. You've got all kinds of stuff in your history, what you're still doing currently. We're gonna really jump on the White Lavender Jones train, as you like to say, here in just a little bit, and talk all about your music and kind of how that started, and what you know, and and yeah, me and you kind of connecting, and how we got you involved in the new film and everything like that too. So so thank you for explaining that. I want to touch on the magic here in just a second here, but let's say hi to some of the people hanging out. So obviously you've got a lot of fans. So ever since me and you have been connected, you've gained even more fans. Like you've got our people like Frank Aguilar in the house. He says this is really happening, folks. So Frank, he's a big fan, and Frank, I can't wait to see you, man. You're coming down next weekend. Super stoked. It's gonna be a really good time. Paul Magilton, oh, he said Budweiser and Snickers ready. I picked the wrong comment, but Paul Magilton's one of your biggest fans. You know that. So let's see. The dude is here. Let's see what he's. Where did he say? Magic is real. There it is. Magic is real by the dude, he says. And then Eileen Sullivan's in the house. She's another Strange Films family member. We love you, Eileen. Thanks for always hanging out and supporting us. She says, hey. And of course, oh yeah, he says Mr. Tokyo. There it was. All right, man. So yeah, you got all kinds of people already hanging out. Oh, Kofi Jones is in the house. He's in He Comes to Kill, so he's gonna be in the new movie as well. He says howdy. So all right, man. So yes, wrestling. You got a show coming up in Nashville, which I'll let you plug in again at the end. You've got you've been in the ring, you know the business pretty well, but the magic, man. How you know? Let's talk about the magic. What makes you so excited about being a magician, and how? I mean, I guess it even with White Lavender Jones, you practice it, but how often is that like on a daily basis that you like to perform?
well, that's awesome question. I've been doing magic since I was a kid, and my inspiration to do magic was my dad. You know, we kind of like to emulate a lot of things that our father does, and
Yeah.
you know, my would come home from my dad was a wrestling announcer, but he had a regular job too. He was in the fire department, you know, and he would go on little trips, training or you know, trips, and of course he'd bring back some little presents for the kids, and he would bring back little magic tricks, and those intrigued me. You know, like from my earliest years, I started. You know, how did you do that? And I was so intrigued with magic. So I began performing magic as a kid. I found a magic shop nearby. I also taught myself a lot from books.
Cool.
You know, back in the day, you'd go to the library. You know, we didn't have the internet back when I was a kid, so we'd go to the library and find a magic book. You know, and then I found a magic shop, which actually sold more professional type of equipment. But magic was kind of an interesting segue. I mean, I know we don't want to get into wrestling yet, but it was an interesting way that I got into the wrestling business. Because, and I'd like to tell that story. The wrestling, of course, is a very secretive business. It was back in the day. I mean, you had to get into the wrestling business. You either had to pay your dues, by getting beat up, or you had to know somebody that, that could get you into the business. And they protected the secrets of wrestling. They guarded those secrets very closely. Didn't want anyone to know that wrestling had anything to do with that. It was orchestrated in any way. Now, of course, everybody knows how it works, but that's also taken a lot of the magic out of it, in my opinion. But my father was ring announcer and very close with one of the top promoters in Florida at that time. And they happened to be cruising around town, and I was rehearsing a magic show that I was going to do. I was probably about 16 years old, 17 years old. And it was in a theater, darkened theater. No one was there, of course. It was just a rehearsal thing. And my dad kept walking in with this wrestling promoter. His name was Eddie Graham. And show him a trick, So I asked Eddie Graham, do you have a handkerchief? Sure. Back in the day, everybody carried like a pocket handkerchief. So he pulled it, gave it to me. I tied a knot in the handkerchief, carried on backstage. And then all of a sudden, I started to make the handkerchief float in the air, and it would dance around and go up, and it would go down and all around, and I'd grab it and fly away. And, this is his own handkerchief. So finally I grabbed it and I walked back to him and I handed him the handkerchief, and he's like looking at it, like, how does it work? So he leaves with my dad, with my father. And in the car, he asked him, so tell me, how does he do it? How does he do his magic tricks? And my father told him, sorry, he doesn't even tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Because the magician, you protect those secrets.
Right.
And at that point, this wrestling promoter realized that I would also protect the secrets of the wrestling business. And I got a call about a week ago, or a week later, to work in the business office of the wrestling office, where they were making payoffs and things like that. And the wrestlers would come in, and learned a lot about the business. And then I gradually went into performing in wrestling myself. So, but that's another segment of the program. But it's how the magic and wrestling are kind of similar, because it's both theater, and there's secrets that have to be protected, and it's suspension of disbelief in both magic and wrestling. So
I've always found magic very, very fascinating. Like so many talented people, like you said, it's just theater or it's disbelief, the illusion of disbelief or anything like that. But like the amount of technique and technicality that goes into that, thought and how to perform those illusions. I mean, it's very, very incredible to watch in person or on TV or anything like that. So, since you have the experience with magic and wrestling, and since we want to touch on wrestling just a little bit, why don't you go ahead and tell us your experience with wrestling, or how that went hand to hand, or anything that you want to say about your professional wrestling career over the last few years? Or
sure,
yeah,
happy to. I basically had a lifelong involvement in, since my dad was involved in it. And I used to remember some of my earliest memories as a child were going to the wrestling matches with my father. He'd let me ring the bell and things like that, So, and actually some of the most legendary wrestlers, bounced me on their knee, held me when I was a baby, that close to the business. But I got into the business about 17 or 18 years old through the story that I just explained.
Yeah.
Started working in the wrestling office. I've ring announced like my dad. I've done television wrestling commentary with legendary Gordon Soley, who some of you people out there may or may not recognize. But I've refereed, I've promoted, I've produced television myself. I've actually gotten in the ring and wrestled, but I started out selling Cokes, at the Fort Homer Hesterly Armory in Tampa, Florida. Again, I later, after I became an attorney, I acquired a major wrestling company and was fortunate enough to go to Japan many times. Had many wonderful experiences in Japan, been from one end of the country to the other. And then I later sold that company to a very well-known individual. And so now he's running with the ball. I haven't really had a whole lot of involvement with wrestling since then. But I was booked to perform my debut single at the Texas Troubadour Theater in Nashville, October 1st. And when it was booked, I didn't realize it, but there was a double booking. Apparently there's a wrestling group that's going to do wrestling there the
Oh,
same
wow.
night. So I decided to go ahead and, let them do their thing. I'm not going to get involved in their wrestling, and I'm hoping they're not going to get involved with my rapping. So they're going to do their wrestling event. And then at the end, I'm going to do my song on the main stage, maybe a little magic, and we'll see how that goes. So I'm looking forward.
It'd be cool if like you guys could do like you performing and then they come and wrestle you and you guys start doing a fight in between and then you beat them and then you finish the song.
I really hope that doesn't happen because I'm nervous and
I hear you. One thing at a time.
Yeah, I would hope. I'm hoping that nobody, gets involved or anything.
Yeah. I hear you. Hey, man. Well, we appreciate you talking about your history with the business, wrestling, magic, and all that good stuff. And we have a few questions for you. Simscare, one of the questions you have in the chat, I'm going to actually be asking on Take It or Leave It. So I'm going to do that here in just a second. But Paul Majotin wants to ask, who was your favorite wrestler, if you have one, Bruce?
Wow. I've got several, Jack Briscoe was an amazing world heavyweight champion. Terry Funk also. A great wrestler, Ric Flair, who I traveled with and saw him in Japan on my first trip to Japan in '82. Ric Flair was there, Stan Hansen. There's been some phenomenal wrestlers that I've seen through the years.
Cool. Awesome.
I would have to say Jack Briscoe, Terry Funk and Ric Flair. I'd have to give those three.
That's a good batch there. All right. Well, there you have it, Paul. All right. Well, this is the part of the program where we like to play a game called Take It or Leave It. And Bruce, basically all I do is I ask you 10 questions. 5 of them are going to be related to somewhat of what you do, and 5 of them are going to be completely random. All you got to do is ask or tell me if you take him or leave him and why. And I'll do the same. And everybody who's watching, please let us know your answers as well in the chats. So, Bruce, White Lavender Jones, are you ready for Take It or Leave It?
I'm ready.
All right, my friend. All right. So, number 1, take it or leave it. Disco.
Disco
Music. Yes, sir.
I'll take it. Respect for disco. It was it started a lot of different music genres. So it had a huge impact on the world at the time that it came around. Of course, it faded out and was replaced by different other genres of music like hip hop and rap, and they say that we are, the next rock stars, us hip hop and rappers, but respect, I've got so much respect for Donna Summer and all the wonderful disco, kings and queens that came before us, paved the way for performers like myself. So that's my comment on disco.
For sure. Wanted to start you off easy there. So disco, I would take it all day, my friend. And Simascara says as well, take it. I love the Bee Gees. Some of my favorite memories when my dad was listening to the Bee Gees. Yeah, you can't go wrong with disco, man. Like you said, they paved the way for a lot of music in even up to now, man. I mean, people are sampling disco to make new music, because it's so iconic, it's so groovy and everything like that too. Paul Majosa says take it all day. So yeah, I mean, and that question actually comes from Frank Aguilar. I asked him last time. I was like, you have any take it or leave it questions for White Lavender Jones? He says disco, but yeah, take it all day, disco. And I can definitely feel the funk of disco in White Lavender Jones. So there we go, man. All right. So number 2, I can see you rollerblading to disco music in some skating rinks, but how do you feel about ice skating? Take it or leave it.
Oh my goodness. I had a really bad experience ice skating with my daughter, a few years ago. I had to bring her in and let her tell the story.
Right.
But we were up in Colorado, and man, I used to be a good ice skater. I guess my balance, has deteriorated a little bit with age. And I got on that ice, and boom, I went down. That was
There
it.
you go. Yeah.
So I'm not a real good ice skater. I got to admit.
So we might leave it for now.
Yeah, so I would have to leave the show.
Yeah. I'm
Yeah.
man, I like the idea of ice skating. I really want to try again, but I'm just one of those, even with rollerblade or roller skating, I'm one of those people who hangs on the edge and just wiggles my way around the rink before so I can
It's not easy.
get by.
It takes a lot of practice. I mean,
Yeah.
trust me, you're not going to get out on the ice and skate beautifully, that, and you're going to bust your tail a few times before, you're
Right.
able.
Yeah. Palma Joseph says ice skating is fun. So and Frank Aguilar says Palma Joseph, we used to listen to disco all night when we were bad boys, remember?
Bee Gees
All
are
right.
the Bee Gees too.
That's right, man. All right. So number 3, take it or leave it. And Cinema Scare was actually asking this in the comments, but take it or leave it. Chris Angel, the magician.
I will take it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, I will take it, because again, I've got RESPECT, I've got respect for that because to get to where he is, a Las Vegas performer, television specials and whatnot, that takes a lot of work, and there's a lot of work that you got to do it yourself. You can't rely on other people. Got a neat Chris Angel story for you. I was in New Orleans one time on a law case, and I happened to be down on Bourbon Street. There was this crowd of people, in the middle, and there was this crane there, with this chain, and people were saying, Chris Angel's coming. He's going to do a straitjacket escape hanging upside down from this crane. So he was supposed to show up at 11 o'clock. 11 o'clock rolls around. He's not there. 11:15, he's not there. 11:30, he's not there. The crowd is starting to get restless. All of a sudden, the crowd starts chanting, Chris Angel, Chris Angel. Well, as soon as the crowd started getting restless, chanting his name, here he is.
Wow.
And he's a tall dude. He's probably very tall. He's 6'4", or 6'5" or something. Well, they strapped him in that straitjacket and they hoisted him up upside down. And I was able to watch Chris Angel live.
That's cool.
Right there. Escape from that straitjacket. It was pretty amazing.
That's cool, man. You and I have very different experiences with seeing Chris Angel live. I mean, so all right. I want to say I take Chris Angel, but I will say Chris Angel, I really, really love it. Like you said, respect for the street magic, right? Like that street magic is incredible to watch, especially in his early years. And it took a lot of work to get to where he is now doing those Las Vegas shows and stuff like that. So 2 years ago, back right before COVID, I went and saw Chris Angel in Las Vegas. And, it was one of those things, kind of like you said, where he was supposed to come on at like 8 o'clock and it wasn't until like 8:30 he came out. But dude, I swear that guy was like stumbling out drunk and like he was slurring his words and everything was way overproduced. Like the whole show just felt very, very, very like, man, I don't know. I know it's a theater, show and stuff like that, but like I just didn't feel like it was like what I was expecting and wanting to see out of Chris Angel. It's because I grew up watching Chris Angel over the years through Street Magic and clips on TV and stuff like that too. But yeah, that show, I was very disappointed, unfortunately, seeing that show.
So how about a quick magic trick?
I love it. Let's do it.
Want to do a quick little trick that I can also do with our viewers at home. It's kind of like a mathematical type, arithmetic type thing. You can either do it in your head. A lot of people like to do the arithmetic in their head, kind of like as an. But I don't mind if you use pencil and paper.
Everyone pay attention. And
Okay,
and just in case, I actually have a pencil and paper. So
here we go. And don't tell me, just think about it, okay?
sure.
First of all, I want you to just think of a number between 2 and 10. Any number between
Could you
2
repeat that? 2 and what?
and 10.
Okay. 2 and 10, everybody. 2 and 10.
Right. Think about that number. You got it?
I got it.
Now multiply that number by 9.
You said divide or times?
Multiply.
Oh, I gotta write that
Multiply
down. I'm
the
gonna go mad.
number between 2 and 10. Multiply that number by 9.
Okay.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, then I want you to add the two numbers together. So you'll get a total. You got a 2-digit number. Add those two digits together, and you'll get a total.
Add the 2 digits together with the original number.
No, August. Listen to me, brother. Think of a number between 2 and 10.
Yeah,
and
I
you
got that.
by 9.
Okay.
Then you've got a digit number.
Yes. Okay.
Add those 2 digits together.
Okay. I got it.
Subtract 5.
I got it. Wow.
Okay, now what I want you to do is think of the alphabet. You've got A, B, C, D, E, F. I want you to think of what letter corresponds to that number.
I got it.
And I want you to think of a country in Europe with a name that starts with that letter.
Well, that one's a hard one, but okay. I think I got one.
Okay. Now, the very next letter in the alphabet, think about it.
Yeah.
Think about an animal that starts next letter.
Okay, I got it.
Now think of a color. Think of the color of that animal. That animal, what color? Don't tell me. Just think about it.
Okay.
Think about it. There's got to be something wrong because there are no gray elephants.
Oh, shit. That's exactly what it was.
There are no gray elephants in Denmark, Daddy.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Little magic for you. So hopefully that made up for.
Oh, that was great, man. That was great. Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. A gray elephant. That was exactly. No joke. I'm not shitting anybody. There was. Oh shit, that was awesome, dude. Yeah, cause I was like, where the hell is he going with all this? I was like, I was getting lost in my own thoughts, but yeah,
and it came through the airwaves, brother. It came right.
That was like, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, where is he going with this? And when you said the color of the animal of what the letter was, I was thinking gray elephant, because I was thinking Denmark, and then I was like, because D went to 4, and 4 plus 5 was 9, which was the 3 plus 6. Yeah, it led all the way back to that, man. Wow, that was pretty fun. That was cool.
So when I see you in Knoxville, I'll bring a few more to show you when I get
Definitely
there.
do, man. I'll have the camera rolling too. We can do some filming, man. That was awesome, dude. Everyone was chatting on this too, man. Oh man, 4D Spain. Yeah. So yeah, but me and you, that was kind of blew my mind right there, man. That was fun. Yeah, I was thinking gray elephant. Frank Aguilar says, "Holy." Oh, cool, man. Cool.
We'll do a little magic, yeah.
Oh shit, there it is. Oh, we gotta have that in the film.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. There you go, my brother.
I love it. I love it.
I am a magical man, always throwing far from my hand.
That's right. We gotta have that in the film. Oh man. All right, dude. Well, that was a lot of fun. Totally blew my mind. So thank you for that. All right, good deal. Hopefully everyone caught along or followed along with that. That wasn't a pre-planned or anything. That was pretty cool. All right, man. Where are we? Number 4. Take it or leave it. Onion rings.
Oh, I'll take them all day long. I love. Oh yeah, man. I love onion rings.
Really? Okay.
No, I try to keep them. I keep talking about the equation, brother. It's part of the
Yeah.
equation.
Yeah.
The equation is my diet. I try to keep a really good diet, and I
Yeah.
try to stay with fried foods.
Yeah.
You know, a good Caesar salad with some grilled chicken is always delicious.
Mhm.
You know, some broiled shrimp on a nice big that is good, or a steak. Or lots of vegetables, or chicken in my air fryer. But I love onion rings.
Sometimes you
That
can't resist, man. You got to have that onion ring, right?
that onion rings is one of my vices. Like
There you
chocolate
go.
milk, chocolate
All right.
milkshake. Keep me away from the chocolate
Chocolate
milkshake.
milkshakes. I'm the same with peanut butter milkshakes, man. Those are my thing too, dude. All right, so I got to leave onion rings. I've never been a fan of them, man. I'm yeah, I don't know, man. I feel like I found like one good onion ring in my life, but I'm just other than that, I'm really not too big of an onion ring fan. But recently I've been trying to stay away from fried food pretty hardcore. I've been like doing intermittent fasting every day, so I only eat from like 11 to 7 and stuff like that. So I'm been just like trying to watch what I'm eating and stuff like that. But man, sometimes I'm just like I was thinking of French fries earlier, and then I was like, oh, let me do it. Let me do onion rings for the take it or leave it. I think that'd be a good topic.
French fries are good too, and so are tater tots.
Oh, dude, I love tater tots, man. I love tater
You're gonna
tots.
get me started, brother. We're not gonna be able to get this topic.
That's right. Let's see. Fall says beer batter or blooming onions. And
I
then
was gonna say the same thing, August, man. How about the blooming onion? I mean,
yeah, I haven't had maybe I need to try it, man, because I don't think I've been there enough to even try it. I've maybe back in the day when someone ordered it, I was like, I'm good. But like I would try it now. I don't know, man. I'm never gonna really seek it out. But the bloomin' onion, I know it's got its rep, so I would try it. I would try it. Kofi says leave it though, due to allergy to onions, unfortunately. So all right, and then let's see. Frank Bruce, has there been any non-believers of White Lavender Jones? Well, I'd say that's a question for our White Lavender Jones topic, but I'm sure there's with everything anybody of us does, there's always going to be a hater or something. So I don't know.
I will tell you this. I will tell you this. There's been so many more positive comments than any sort of negativity. I've had literally maybe one or two,
Good.
but Lavender Jones has only been out there about a month,
Yeah.
maybe 6 weeks.
Yeah.
So, there's always going to be people that don't like your music, or don't like the lyrics or things like that. And I respect that. I mean, if someone doesn't like your material, they certainly don't need to listen to you. But I've been so thankful that the response so far has been overwhelmingly positive. And, when we get to the White Lavender Jones segment and how he was born and whatnot, we'll talk about it. But all the lyrics are original. I've written probably about 8 to 10 different songs. I just need to get into the studio, and get them recorded. But I really do appreciate you playing my video.
Oh,
And
dude. Yeah. Yeah.
when we get over to the Lavender Jones segment, maybe I'll do one or two for you a cappella.
Oh, I love it. Sounds good. Well, we're coming up to it, guys. Let's get through this take or leave it segment. But yeah, say your White Lavender Jones questions, they will be answered because that's what the man throwing fire out of his hands is all about, man. He's here to answer those questions. All right, so number 5, take it or leave it. I know you like to wrestle, but what do you think about boxing? Take it or leave it.
Gosh, I will leave it.
Leave it. Okay.
I will leave it. I will leave it. Boxing is all right. If we're gonna go to a different sport than wrestling, I would probably have to do MMA.
Okay.
You know,
Interesting. Yeah.
right? Because you've got the components of boxing mixed with grappling, and to
Right.
me that's more multi-dimensional.
Mhm.
Than boxing. But I got to respect the boxers too, because it takes a lot of conditioning to get to where they get.
For
But
sure. It's a classic
but first,
sport, too. And
yes. Yes, they're a classic sport. There's some great boxers that I've studied, from George Foreman to, Muhammad Ali, Sonny Liston, Rocky Marciano, even when you go back to the Brown Bomber, Joe Louis, there's a lot of historic, boxers, I have so much respect for, but I do like MMA. I mean, that seems to be kind of a sport that has sort of taken over.
Oh,
Kind of
absolutely. Yeah,
kind
for
of,
sure.
and pro wrestling, of course, is a totally different product.
Yeah.
There
People
are
know, I
fans.
think, right. People think, I mean, I think people know now, like, wrestling is what it is, a theatrical and also really fun storylines and all these things and characters that they're getting, and it's fun entertainment in that sense. But then there's the MMA, which is just kind of raw, brutal fighting, and people I think now are more drawn to MMA, and I like MMA too. I don't keep up with it, but if there is a MMA fight like UFC or something, that I like to watch it just because I think it's interesting. But let's see. Were you ever a fan of Mike Tyson? Because I listen to a lot of Mike Tyson's like podcasts and stuff now. So that's kind of why I asked the boxing question in general.
Baddest man on the planet,
There you
you
go.
expect, his punching power, and
For
his
sure.
ability, and, from where he came from to get to where he,
Yeah.
you got to respect that journey, that took a lot of discipline and, a lot of guts for him to reach the top.
Anybody should listen to his podcast, Hot Boxing with Mike Tyson, because he talks a lot about like his, the thing about Mike Tyson now, he's really, really humble about everything that he's done, and also that he looks at himself in a different perspective now. So he's really kind of, sometimes, most of the time, he's honestly like shaming himself because for a lot of the fights and aggressive, things he did in the past. But at the same time, it's one of those enlightening things that he's recognizing and everything too. But it's just really, really interesting to hear him talk now, about life in general, and even boxing and MMA. He talks about UFC and all kinds of stuff too. But it's really, really good. So we have a question here with Simascara Studios. He says, do you like Bruce Lee and martial arts? It's epicness.
Bruce Lee is amazing. I love Bruce Lee, as an athlete, and also as an actor.
There you go.
But he could do those one-handed push-ups on two fingers that were just amazing, and, he could throw punches that were so fast that the camera, couldn't catch, the speed of his fists as he threw punches. So I've got tremendous respect for Bruce Lee. Wished he had not left us so early in his life, but he made a mark on this world, and he will not be forgotten anytime soon.
Absolutely. Amen. All right. So that's, I feel like that covers pretty much all the fighting realms there. Number 6, my friend, take it or leave it. Cats.
Take it all day
I
long.
love cats.
I'm a cat man. I'm a cat person.
Right on.
So I'm raised with dogs, so
Yeah.
many years ago I had a girlfriend, came in, brought a cat into the relationship. I ended up breaking up with the girl. I kept the cat.
Oh, that's great.
And I've had cats ever since that. Since that time, I've named cats after the great magicians Blackstone,
Oh,
and
cool.
and so I'm a cat person for sure. I love cats. I mean, I was actually, before we started the podcast, I was kind of sitting on the couch, and man, she just jumps. All I got to do is snap my fingers and she'll jump right up.
Oh yeah, right on. Oh man, I love cats, dude. I was raised with dogs. I still love dogs. I would like to get another one. But I have 2 cats, and and they're just, what I love about cats is they're very independent, but they also need you. They love you and everything. They want your attention, everything. Right before we went live, I was like, I gotta get my cat upstairs because I know she's just gonna jump all over me and crawl and try to get my attention and stuff like that. But they're very independent for the most part, and they're very cool. I love cats. Last night I was looking up ancient ancient cats, like how far back
Yes.
cats were around, and like what was the image look like of like the first known cat, and that's kind of why I sparked the question, because I was like, cats are fascinating, I was like, they've got this feline species are very fascinating with all kinds of different feline animals, but like the cats, I was like, I know they've been around for years and years and years, so I was just like really really curious about it.
From from the times of ancient Egypt.
Absolutely, yeah,
Cats have been around, and for me, cats are very clean. They're very
yeah,
clean. They don't. I love dogs, but you always have to end up with there's a smell,
yeah.
and then you got to take them out. And you got to walk them.
Right. That's that's the worst. Like 6 in the morning. You're like, dude, come on.
Crying at the door or something like that.
Uh-huh.
At least you get a nice cat box. You start, you keep that clean, and it's a good thing. I like cats for that reason as well.
Right on, right on. I agree with you on that. Paul says we had a little parade and party for my cat because she killed a mouse. She was so proud. There you go, Paul. I love it.
They give you their trophy, and they'll
Yeah,
present you their trophy. So,
absolutely.
the cats have brought me lizards and all kinds of stuff like that.
Awesome. All right, man. Number 7, take it or leave it. Gangster rap. So we're talking about like NWA, Notorious B.I.G., like Public Enemy.
So,
Where do you stand on hip hop these days?
so I'll take it.
Right on.
I'll take it because I respect those guys so much. When part of my story is I was never really into rap, and I was never really into hip hop
Interesting. Okay.
until I went to Atlanta, Georgia, about 10 months ago. And that's when White Lavender Jones was born, because I was taken to some of these hip hop and rap clubs, and I listened to the lyrics, and I realized that it told a story. If you take the time, all you people out there that may not like rap, if you take the time to just listen to the lyrics, you might just like it because it tells a story. And sometimes it'll touch your heart. Sometimes it'll make you laugh, and it's entertaining. And wrestling also tells a story. So we're talking about the crossovers between magic and wrestling. Well, let's talk about wrestling and rap. They
Right.
both tell a story. They both tell a story. And the people, the audience can get caught up in it. Just like you said, suspension of disbelief.
Mm-hmm.
And, so that's how I got interested in rap. And that's how White Lavender Jones was born. And, the character of White Lavender Jones, is very unique because it combines wrestling, it combines magic, it combines throwing fire. And there's not too many white rappers. We've got Eminem, we got Kid Rock and stuff, but I don't think either one of those guys have a wrestling connection, or any of them do magic. So I think the White Lavender Jones character is very unique. It's an extension of my own personality.
Right on.
So I don't think anybody's going to be able to copy it.
Yeah, well, hey, it's definitely a unique formula, blending all those elements together, I should say.
But getting back to your take it or leave it, gangster rap, when I'm in the gym, that's what I listen to because it pushes me for the pump,
Nice.
Yeah, I love Doja Cat, and I'll tell you about some of my influences when you're ready.
All right, cool. I like it. I like it. Jennifer Pearl, we're happy to have you. Actually, you're going to be sharing a scene with Jennifer Pearl coming up on here in September. So Jennifer, thanks for stopping by, and we are so excited to work with you. But she says gangster rap, and I'm not gonna lie, I can never remember if it's over or gangster rap over mumble rap or take it or whatever it is. Like, is it like favorite or not favorite, whatever, you know what I'm saying? But gangster rap over mumble rap maybe. But yeah, so I agree with you on rap in general though. Like, obviously I'm a big fan of 80s, 90s hip hop, but I'm also a big fan of, depending on, there's a lot of modern rap now that I'm really not a fan of, but there is a lot of modern rappers also who are uh they tell stories. They're intellectual, they have a soul, and what they're talking, what they're singing or rapping about and everything like that too. Like Kid Cudi is one of my favorite modern rappers these days. Kendrick Lamar, I think he's a great rapper. Chance the Rapper. I mean, there's a lot of musicians and talented people out there that who continue to have that kind of flow and essence about them versus the mumble rap like Jennifer. And thank you, Jennifer. She said greater. That greater or lesson. That's what I was thinking of. But thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate that. I'm not bad. I'm not good with math and and symbols. But anyways, but I agree with you on that. And gangster rap, you cannot go wrong with it. It laid the foundation also for modern rap today because a lot of it also was as gangster. You want to it was labeled as it also it brought about a bunch of social issues that was going on, like police brutality or anything like that too.
Yeah.
Like it brought about a lot of issues that it was being honest with its music and lyrics, that it was giving attention to the people who were actually suffering on the streets or in communities and stuff like that too. So I think that was kind of it paved way for more musicians to speak about those kinds of things, just maybe in different tones. So I definitely think it's just a staple in history, so but alrighty, we are almost at the end here. Number 8, take it or leave it. And I got this question from my good buddies over at the Super Action Talk podcast, Mass Driver and Rodney over there. Shout out to you guys. Space travel. So take it or leave it. If you had the opportunity to get in a spaceship and fly off to a planet or hang out in space for a good while, would you do that?
Well, it depends on what you mean for a good while.
It's a long discussion because actually this is exactly the same kind of how it started in their podcast. But so in your own fantasy land of how you want to space travel, let's just stick it with that.
I'd take a little spin around the earth and then I'd be ready to come home.
Yeah. No colonization of Mars to
Oh, no, sir. No, sir. I want to be able to, travel to my favorite cities, New York, London, Tokyo,
right.
And enjoy the finer things here on Earth. I'd do something for a limited period of time, a very limited period of time. But I wouldn't want to stay confined in a spacecraft, real confined spacecraft. I mean, man, taking a flight to Japan for 13 hours is long enough, much less 13.
Right.
I would have to say leave it.
Oh, okay. He's gonna just go ahead and just leave it. Good
I
deal.
would have to say leave it.
Right.
Unless it was like a real quick trip.
Right. Yeah. Just a quick up and down. Yeah.
And thing too is it'd have to be safe,
Yeah.
I gotta look at all my risks and things like that, If there was any danger of that thing blowing up, I think I'd rather just stay right down here on Earth.
I hear you. Okay. Yeah, that's there's a lot of that in the discussion on their podcast. One of the big things that you just mentioned, the confined space, Sean of the podcast, he was like, dude, I'm very claustrophobic. I can't, it's like, it's got to be like a big spacecraft and stuff like that. So, yeah. So
the food issue, it's going to have to be some good food,
Oh, okay. Yeah. Right.
I certainly enjoy my food. I'm not going to be, White Lavender Jones is not going to be up in space eating none of them frozen ice cream sandwiches.
That's right. Yeah. Frozen ice cream sandwiches. That's right. Awesome, man. All right. So number 9, you already basically answered this earlier when we were talking about our favorite wrestlers, but take it or leave it. And because we just saw that he went back in the ring for his last match, Ric Flair, take it or leave it.
So I'll take it, and I'll give Ric Flair some props for getting back in there as an older guy. I didn't see the match. So I really can't comment on, how the actual match went. But, he's an iconic character forever in the wrestling business. And to give the fans one last chance to see him in the ring, even for a short time, I'll have to take it.
All right, man. And yeah, like you said earlier in the show, I mean, you were kind of along the ride for some of those experiences as well. But I saw he was wearing purple, and it made me think of you. and I saw he was in the ring. And then the only other thing I have about Ric Flair is he came to Knoxville for a fanboy convention a few years ago, and all I kept hearing was "whoa" all day. So, but yeah, I hear you, man.
He will definitely draw a crowd. I've taken some road trips with Flair, just he and I in the car before, which were
Wow.
pretty cool. Yeah, I'll send you a couple of pictures.
Oh, that'd be awesome. Right on, man. All right, man. The last question of take it or leave it here. Thanks for playing. So I know you you seem like a very fun guy. I'm sure you play lots of games, but number 10, take it or leave it, darts, the game.
Darts are great. I mean, I'll take it. But I like magnetic darts, that aren't pointy. You know what I mean? I
Okay,
get
yeah. Oh, that's better. Yeah.
my kids, for Christmas, and we've had a lot of fun playing darts.
Right on.
Take it. I love darts.
Man, I don't really understand darts. Like the thing is, like, I don't understand what the points are. Like, I just throw it and I'm like, is it
Well,
good? Is it bad? Am I, I always aim for the middle, but like, yeah.
you get less points for the outside of the target, and if you get the bullseye, the points go up as you get closer to the bullseye. I think.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I know the bullseye is where I'm trying to hit, but then like I'll like every time like a lot of times when I play, I'll throw and I'm like, oh, I feel like I got pretty good in that. But then it's like I lose like I don't get a lot of points, and I'm like, and the person next to me throws and they throw something like, oh, but they get more points than me, and I'm like, what? Like I don't understand. But I'll play. But yeah, no, darts. That's a random game that I'm sure is fun to play every once in a while. Oh, my sister-in-law plays competitive darts up and down the coast. Right on, Paul. That's cool. Actually, Paul has another question here. Ever meet Rowdy Piper? And if so, how was he?
Yeah, I met Roddy Piper shortly before his death at a wrestling convention, like a banquet, and believe it was I think it was in Georgia. I met him, and he was very personable, very humble individual, very friendly, with everybody. So I like that about somebody, somebody that's been in the main event at WrestleMania, been in movies, things like that, and and is a seriously tough guy. I mean, back in the business, you really had to be able to back up your mouth.
Yeah.
Roddy Piper's a tough guy. He was a fighter, boxer. He used to street fight when he was a kid. But no, he was very personable, and it was an honor to meet him, shake his hand.
Awesome. There you have it, Paul. There you have it. All right, my friend. Thank you for playing Take It or Leave It. That's our game, and I feel like it always gives a nice little icebreaker for the people who may not know you, just to discuss some things of random topics. But we are down to the nitty gritty of the show, and the biggest main topic that we want to talk about is White Lavender Jones, my friend. So we have a couple questions right off the bat from people in the chat, Kelly and Simascare, which is basically, where did White Lavender Jones come from? How did you get the name and all that stuff? But in your own words, let's talk about White Lavender Jones. Let's give us the details of this man.
So we're gonna get into
There we
character.
go.
We're gonna get into character a little
I
bit,
love it.
and I'll tell a bit about White Lavender Jones.
Nice.
White Lavender Jones was born in Atlanta, Georgia, about 10 months ago. And like I told you, Bruce Tharp was there, and he went to some hip hop, some R&B clubs in Atlanta. And White Lavender Jones emerged.
Oh, yes.
And what happened is I came back to Texas from Atlanta, Georgia, and I started writing poetry. I started writing some rap rhymes. And
boy.
I tried them out on a few people, and they liked them. They thought they were funny. They thought they were entertaining. And that's what it's all about with me, is the entertainment, is to make people laugh, initially. And I've written probably about 8 to 10 raps, all original lyrics, all original beats. And the first ones were kind of funny. That was my hook. They kind of thought they were funny, and the character, but then I've written a few other ones that kind of tug at your heart a little bit, and uh, they talk about treating your lady right and things like that. They talk about carrying a gun and why that may not be the greatest idea in the world. I got one coming out called Peace and Love, and the peace is spelled Piece.
Oh my gosh! All right.
Talks about some experiences that Big Daddy Lav had back east, you know. But I'll be coming out with my second song in about a month. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping everybody will like it. I've already recorded it. The mix is now just getting complete, and I have to complete the music video because I want to release it with a music video. But I'm hoping within about a month it'll be ready. But if you'd like me to do a little a cappella on some beats, I'd be happy to do a little bit for you right now.
If you got something prepared, man,
So,
the platform's yours.
so my next song that's coming out, my second song is called "I Am the King." All right, and
Okay.
it goes a little bit like this. It goes, "I am the king wherever I go. New York, London, Tokyo. First class travel from the top to the flow. Take a ride on the train. White Lavender Jones. I make the rules because I am the king. And if you don't like it, you will taste my ring. And if anyone tries me, they will pay the price because I'll put them in the sleeper and I will not play nice. When I'm out with my bitches, you best not be grabbing her because if you ain't lavender, you ain't having her. Gotta follow rules. If you're gonna be my baby, you gotta give it up every fucking day. Everybody knows it's this I gotta say. Young hoes only if you're a MILF don't come my way. I am the king wherever I go. New York, London, Tokyo. First class travel from the top to the flow. Take a ride on that train. White Lavender Jones. I make the rules and you learn to love it. When I say the word, you get down and suck it. Hit the switch all day whenever I say win. If your hoe starts acting up, then you take her friend. Got a secretary, likes to take dictation. Tag so many girls could have my own United Nation. I'm the king of men and the ladies' dream. You'll end up dead if you try to compete. Unless you're in my tribe, you best head for the dough, because I'll break your leg in my figure foe. And don't forget, I am not a liar. If you get me in trouble, you will feel the fire. To all of the haters who just keep throwing stones, take a ride on the train, White Lavender Jones.
Everybody give him a clap. Give White Lavender Jones a clap, my friend. Oh, that was great, man. Thanks for sharing. Thanks for doing that on the show. That was great, dude.
I got one more, but I'm gonna have to. I got one more. I got one more for you guys.
Okay.
But I got it because I haven't memorized this one. It's about me, actually. It's
Okay.
called A Rapper Called Lavender. It goes
Rapper
a little
called Lavender. Okay.
goes a little bit like this.
Hit it.
Ever since I started rhyming and I got in this game, the people's always asked me, how did you get your name? I was born in the backseat of a brand new Cadillac. It was parked in the alley behind this ratchet trap. My daddy was a pimp and my mama was a hoe. I guess it's a tradition of the family Joan. My daddy's getting money while my mama's giving birth. And suddenly White Lavender arrived upon this earth. When Lavender was born, he started rapping and rhyming from his first day in the world. Display exquisite timing. And although I may be light, I ain't no cracker motherfucker. Because when the melanin came out, I knew I was a brother. The people started listening because they thought my rhymes were funny. It seemed like overnight I started making lots of money. I've wined and dined with kings and queens, but on a lot of nights I was eating pork and beans. You see, it ain't always been big money and long legs, because on many a night Lavender was eating grits and eggs. Now I'm doing lots of traveling from the east to the west coast. Seems like everybody wants to see White Lavender Jones. No matter where I go, they call me Your Highness. And that's because my indica is only the finest. Spend my time in the studio working on my art, spitting out inspiring rhymes that come straight from the heart. And I have to say, I'm thankful and I feel just right at home because you've opened up your hearts to White Lavender Jones. Because it's nights like tonight that I wish would never end. When you're listening to great music and you're making brand new friends. My name's Lavender Jones, and this ain't no disguise. Sometimes it's hard to rhyme with tears in your eyes because of the rhyming, double timing, transatlantic flying that I do. I do it all, and I feel so fucking tall, all because of you. But as I keep spitting rhymes and the originality persists, I realize that without you, Lavender would never exist. And what a ride this has been. What a creative endeavor. But as long as you love me, Lavender will live forever. And that song always makes me cry for real because it's
Oh
from.
man, that was deep. That was cutting me here.
So that's Lavender Jones.
I'm gonna give you another round of applause. White Lavender Jones, everybody. That was 2 acapellas back to back. One was deep to the soul there, and we appreciate you doing that. That was awesome, man. Thank you. Thank you for sharing those.
Looking forward to seeing you in Knoxville and appearing in your film. It's going to be an amazing thing for me and for all of us. I'm really looking forward to meeting everybody.
For sure, man.
You see
We
me?
are yeah, we are very, very excited to meet you, especially me, man. I mean, me and you are going to work together pretty closely on that day and for the weekend when you're here, and super excited. Just wanted to share that Paul says White Lavender Jones kills me. Love the lyrics there. Frank is saying he can't wait to hear it with the mad beats, and that God bless White Lavender Jones there. So, uh, man, it is a pleasure to talk with you tonight. It's a pleasure to hear your music and how passionate you are and how excited you are. Regarding the film, man, White Lavender Jones is going to be in our newest movie, He Comes to Kill. We're starting to shoot this weekend, but we're looking at a whole pretty much month-long production, and at the very beginning of September, White Lavender Jones is coming down. He's going to have a really, really fun, great scene. Jennifer Pearl, who was just in the chat earlier, she's going to be in the scene as well. So I'm really excited to share not only you as an actor and your performance on screen, but your music is going to be included in the film itself as well, and that's going to be a lot of fun too. So it's a pleasure to have gotten to know you over the last few weeks, months, and everything, and to get to work with you on this project and just our friendship and along the way and everything like that. It's pretty awesome, dude. So we appreciate it, man.
I'm looking forward to a long-term relationship with you, Mr. Aguilar.
Absolutely, for sure.
Real good about all you guys, man. Butch, I'm just really excited about meeting everybody and helping the process move forward.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's gonna be a good time, man. We're it's real laid back as far as me filming with everybody, but working with everyone, it's gonna be a good time. So, White Lavender Jones, since we're at the nitty gritty here at the end of it, let me just ask you if you have anything that you'd like to plug for coming up. I know we've got the show coming up. Besides our film, He Comes to Kills, you have one more. I guess was October 1st in Nashville. You want? I know you have that. Is there anything else you want on the horizon that you want to talk about real quick?
I'd just like everybody to go to my YouTube channel. Search White Lavender Jones on YouTube and look for my video. I'm in a gold jacket, and if you like it,
Sure.
comment, share it with your friends. And yes, I'll be in Nashville at the Texas Troubadour Theater on October 1st. Come on out and see me. Anybody that wants to see some different kind of rap, I've got my own style, and I hope you enjoy it. But we're going to be rolling into town October 1st in Nashville. I'm telling you right now, the White Lavender Jones movement, it's like a hip hop tsunami, baby. I'm telling you. And White Lavender Jones is riding that wave, brother. We're going to ride that wave and see how far it'll take us. So come on out and see us October 1st in Nashville, Texas Troubadour.
Right on. If I can make it, I'm coming because you're only 2.5 hours away from me. So
You better.
I know I want to, man. I'm going to try my absolute damnness to do it. Hey, speaking of your music video, You Don't Like Me, it is in the comments, or it's in the description below on this video. So anytime anybody wants to or comes to this video, they can check out that video. It's linked in this video as well, that they can watch it. But like he mentioned, search White Lavender Jones on YouTube. It's going to pop up. It's right there. You Don't Like Me. It's a great song. It's funky. I've shared it with a bunch of different people, and we're just super excited to have it. You have it part of the Strange Chills family here as well. So really, I'm happy to see it. And what I was going to say was seeing the comments on not only the YouTube video itself, but like Instagram and Facebook and everything. You've got a lot of people, like you said, just like, whoa, this is what, funk is back and all this stuff. Like, this is where, this brings me back and all this. You got a lot of people that are on board with that kind of style and what you're, singing and rapping about.
We hoping to get it viral as much as, so share as much as you can. And we appreciate all your help and your support.
For sure. It's doing well so far. All right, man. The last question I like to ask everybody on the show is, what sort of advice do you have for anybody out there that wants to be a musician, creative, or just someone just kind of going through life? Any sort of advice that you want to offer to anybody who is out there listening now? What can White Lavender Jones or Bruce tell them?
Number one, follow your dreams. You're always going to be questioning what if, later in life if you didn't try. Nothing ventured, nothing gained, and if you're a musician, if you can, try to write your own lyrics, because that's where the money is in the production, and in writing your own lyrics. I mean, there's a lot of amazing and awesome singers out there who perform other people's material. And I never knew I had the ability to write. I never knew. I just got up one morning and started doing it. I started doing it. I started writing it. So you guys can do the same thing. Just, jump out there, jump out of your safety box, jump out of your comfort zone, as they say, and try something different. You can do it, but you'll never know if you never try.
Hey, it's as simple as that. And that's great advice, man. That's great advice. You'll never know if you don't try. Follow your dreams. Take it one step at a time, be yourself. I think that's what it's all about.
Well, yes, sir. I that 100%. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, for sure.
On your program. Thank you again for inviting me. It's been an honor. And hopefully I can come back another time.
Absolutely. We will definitely do a follow-up with you later down the road to talk about the post experience with some of the music, some of the shows that you're doing, and then of course the film that we get to do here in a few weeks. So we will definitely do a follow-up with White Lavender Jones in the near future to keep everyone going. But no, we appreciate you, man. It's an honor to have you on the show. Thank you so much for your time. I'm gonna end the broadcast, but it will stay on with me and you for a few minutes. We can say proper goodbye to each other. But everybody who else is watching, thank you so much for tuning in. It always means a lot. Follow White Lavender Jones. He's got a great Facebook page that you can go on there and just keep up with all the stuff that he's got going on. You can YouTube his channel. You can do the Instagram, of course, White Lavender Jones. You find all of his music and all of his social media updates. And look out, because he is coming to the Strange Films universe on our new movie, He Comes to Kill. And we will be doing that in early September, and we cannot wait. So you will see plenty of updates with that coming up in the near future. But be sure to come by and hang out with us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. we will talk with another creator on these live shows, and we appreciate you guys stopping by. So thank you so much. And thank you, White Lavender Jones and Bruce, for coming out and hanging out with you. We appreciate you guys. Have a